All right. Hey, how are you guys? I am checking in today. I am live here in my private inner circle group in Facebook. I'm also live on YouTube. And as you guys know, my name is Dee Williams, for the folks who don't know, and I show people, professionals just like you, how to start, grow, and maintain your very own niche recruitment and staffing agency business. And today, as always, I'm constantly kind of going through all of the different articles that are out there about recruiting and staffing and the changes that are taking place and the laws and all that great stuff. And I came across an article that I wanted to share with you guys, and I will post this in the private Facebook group. But I came across this article. It's by the recruitingblogs.com. Hey, Gloria. It's from the recruitingblogs.com. And hold on one second, because I'm like missing a piece here. I know that there are people right now on, give me one second. Hey, Henry. And I want to share this with you guys. Okay, great. I just want to be able to see the content, any questions that are coming through about salary history. So for years upon years upon years, when, the idea or the process around, what's up, my love? The process around actually going in and talking to the candidate and screening the candidate, the employer typically wants to know, what the salary is of the candidate, what's their current salary, and what their expectations are. Submittals go out every day with this information on and it's a really big deal to hiring managers in most instances. And as you guys know, this last year, a lot of things have changed. A lot of laws are taking place. New laws are taking place. And though a lot of things have changed. So really quickly, I want to share this article with you guys. Hold on one second. I'm going to share this with you. Let me share my screen here. And just so you know, hey, Sarah, how you doing? It's great to see you here. Hey, Renasha, great to see you here. Hey, Jomaine and Dawn, it's good to see you. Let me flip this around really quickly so you guys can see where I'm coming from here in my Facebook group. And then I will post this right here. So I'm on recruitingblogs.com. And hold on, let me go back here. And I want to just read a little bit of this article so you can see some of the changes that are taking place. Because you'll see in my training, I talk about ask for their current salary and what they're looking to make, right? So what are you currently making and what are you looking to make? Those are the two big things that I tell you to ask your candidates when you are closing, right? And you start the closing process at the very beginning. We talk about always be closing. So the first conversation, we start talking about the closing and we go into literally, what is the candidate making? And what are they looking to make? So you want to know what they're currently making and what their expectations are. And the reality is that laws are changing. In some states, you cannot do that. And it seems as though at some point you will not be doing that at all, according to the law. So let me read this a little bit. That's the article is titled, "It's Illegal to Inquire About a Job Applicant's Salary History." That's right. Another joins in. The New York City Council has enacted legislation effective in 180 days prohibiting employers from inquiring about a job applicant's salary history. All right. So remember, typically when a recruiter goes in and interviews, she's saying, tell me a little bit about your current job. What are you making? Tell me about your last job. What did you make there? Tell me about your last job. What did you make there? Or on the application, it asks what the salary was. Well, they can no longer do that in the state of New York. Okay. So keep that posted. Keep that in mind. They are not the only ones. There are several cities and states thinking about passing similar laws. Some already have. For example, Philadelphia passed a law, such a law at the beginning of this year, and it is in effect in May. So starting next month in Philadelphia, you cannot ask a current about their salary history. You cannot ask a candidate about their salary history starting in May. So listen, if you are placing people or talking to candidates in New York or in Philadelphia, you cannot ask about salary history to your candidate. All right. They say here that the state of Massachusetts passed an act that prohibits salary history questions, signed August 1st, 2016, but won't go in effect until 2018. So right now it's just New York, Philadelphia, and then in 2018, it'll be Massachusetts that you cannot ask the salary history. Yes, Henry, you can ask how, you can definitely ask how much they're looking to make. Expectations are imperative. But as far as asking what they currently make or what they were making before, only in New York and Philadelphia can you not ask those questions today. Okay, that may, and then Massachusetts in 2018, again, that may change. Okay, so now the law in New York prohibits asking about salary history from candidates or prior employees or prior employers or even current salary, or in any way search public records to find out state salary history. Basically, the people don't want us relying on salary histories in negotiating terms of employment anymore. Wow. Now that, to me, that's great, but it's like, because you know how many offers where I've had to really go back. I mean, I told you guys about stories where I've talked to candidates and literally they're like, I don't want to tell you my salary history. And I'm like, well, I can't work with you without knowing that, because I know for a fact that the client is going to want to negotiate that offer based on what they're currently making, which is wrong. And but that's kind of how it goes, right? And so hey Ida, how are you? And so this is great because now things are changing. Okay, so back to the article. I think it's a good thing. Too many times I've seen candidates get shafted because they were currently underpaid. And so the idea was to offer a lateral move or a very small increase, even though the people involved in the hiring decision knew that the market rate was much higher for a skill set. For years now, when I've been asked by hiring managers, what is their current salary, I have declined to immediately answer and reply, could you first please tell me what you think the person is worth? So that's the question that you know that he's asking. I go about it a different way, but it's still basically the same question. What is the candidate worth? Why does the candidate's salary matter? Ultimately, you have to, when you're placing a candidate based on salary, then you have to justify why this candidate deserves more. It's like more on the what is it, the offer process, like the negotiation process. The candidate negotiation process is more work for you. Whereas if these states have a law that basically say I can't ask, then it really doesn't matter, what that candidate is making. And you don't have to even worry about negotiating the offer on that part. Would you say, Antonio? Is it because companies are creating vast systems and caste systems in America? I don't know. Good morning, Caesar. I don't know the actual reason, Antonio. All I can tell you is that, I don't know. I don't know the reason, but I can tell you that this is excellent for not just candidates, but for recruiters that are representing those candidates, because it really just makes the job so much harder when you have to try to define a candidate as a good candidate because, regardless of their salary. So let me give you guys, and I'm going to pull my screen back before I finish reading this article. But let me give you an example. So there was a candidate. He was a BI. He was in BI, business intelligence, and the position was at a credit card payment processing company here in Atlanta. The guy literally, I interviewed him. I thought he would be a great fit based on his resume. So I went to interview him downtown Atlanta. And so we met at a mutual place. So we go in, we meet, we talk. The guy sounds amazing. He's passionate about his work. I find out a little bit more about what his situation is at his current job, you know, his family. I'm just learning about this candidate. And I get to the question of asking him, you know, what are you currently making and what are you looking to make? Now, it's a flip side to this, because when I ask a candidate what they're currently making, it allows to see if they fit in the almost like the skill set range of the position. So if the candidate is making 50,000 right now and the position is for 80,000, it's like, okay, so is he underskilled? Does he have the experience that the client is looking for? So that's one side of it. But the other side is and let me explain, is how this thing worked with the candidate. So the position was, I think, 80,000 or 100,000 or something like that. And the guy, I think it was 100,000. And the guy was currently making 80,000. And he was making 80,000 because the recession had hit and he got fired or laid off or whatever. He took another job with a 20% decrease in his salary, right? And he stayed there because he was a loyal employee. He's a great employee. He did all of those things. But now the economy picked back up again. He's ready. He's learned a lot, you know, has more skills. He's learned a lot more. Now he's ready to dive into the next portion of his career, except all the companies that were looking at him would only pay him within that 80K range. He deserves so much more. He had made so much more in the past. So he and I kind of got into it. He was like, I refuse to tell you what I'm making. I'm like, well, fine. If you won't tell me what you're currently making, then I'm out of here, picked my briefcase up and was on my way out the door. So he chased me down the elevator and was like, okay, wait. And so finally I got him to tell me, and I had to explain to him that as a recruiter, it's my job to negotiate the offer. Regardless, I just need to know where you are and where you're looking to go. I know exactly where the client is and where they're looking to go. My job is to make the match. If I feel like you're a good match for the position, then it's my job to fight for you. It's my job to prove to the hiring manager that you're worth the money that you're asking for. But if I don't know what the landscape is and you're not expressing all of those things to me, how can I create a strong enough picture to be able to defend you to my hiring manager? Furthermore, the hiring manager may never get what they're currently making. That's based on the relationship that I have with the hiring manager. It's based on the relationship that I have with the hiring manager. It's based on what the hiring manager requests when they receive the submittal. Some hiring managers say, I want to see their currents. I want to see past salaries, current salary, and desired salary. Some say, I just want to see desired. Some say, I want to see desired and current. So it just kind of depends on the relationship that you develop with that hiring manager. And so you're right, Antonio. People do companies exploit people with salary information. But from a recruiter's perspective, since we're the middle guy or gal, you know, if we don't have a full view of everything that's going on, then it's harder for us to kind of decide, is this person a fit? Because listen, we can play the devil's advocate right now. There are candidates right now that are making 50,000 a year with no degree, very little experience, and then you ask them what they want to make, and they'll tell you 100,000 a year. Come on, get out of here. You understand what I'm saying? So there's devil's advocate, and I think that's the reason why people have looked at that salary with such strong conviction about deciding on what to pay somebody when they hire them. So it's a devil's advocate to everything. There's a flip side to everything. And so you do want to keep those things in mind. But we are shifting from a skills-based hiring, from more skills-based hiring to more performance-based hiring. That is very true. And it has taken some time, like 10, 15 years, for employers to start to see that it's not just does this person have the skills that defines whether or not they can do the job or not, but has this person actually done what we're looking to hire for in the past? Can they perform the job? Not based on the skills, the skill set per se, but if they've done the job before or something similar, then they should naturally have the skills and they can do the job. Hiring doesn't always happen that way. Especially depending on the style of hiring. So if you're doing contract staffing or temp staffing, most of the time, especially on the lower end, hourly rates, they don't care about the performance as much. They just want to know, does this person have the skills? And they feel like if this person has the skills, they can do the job. If this person has a good personality and good speaking skills, then they can be a customer service rep. If this person knows how to create a Word document and manage a calendar, they can be an executive assistant. If this person knows how to run a forklift machine, then they can do this position. Whereas if when you start thinking about the direct hire or the professional solutions or executive search, it's not, do they have Oracle experience? Do they have, Microsoft Office experience? It's not really about that. It's about, have they ever developed a roadmap? Do they know how to implement something? Have they ever managed a team before? What type of budgets are they used to working with? So it's more performance, right? Versus skills. So it just depends on what area of the business that you're working with and what type of hiring manager that you're working with. Lynette said, I never liked asking salary, nor do I like people asking me mine. I just ask for their current range, like 50s, 60s, or their desired salary to give me at least some idea of what I'm working with. That's exactly right. Like I come from old school, so we've always asked. But now, according to the laws, if you're in New York or Philadelphia, that is not even an option. So you can't even ask if you wanted to. And next year in Massachusetts as well. I'm going to keep going. Let me just see. Okay, so for years now, I'm going to just do this again. For years now, when I have been asked by hiring managers, what is their current salary? I have declined to immediately answer and reply, could you first please tell me what you think the person is worth? So many times the hiring manager would tell me a programmer was worth $110,000, and that would make him comparable to his peers internally based on skill set, only to learn the candidate's current salary is $90K. And so the hiring manager now wants to offer $95K. And I think that's what Antonio was talking about a moment ago. Like, 1 minute you're this way and the next morning, good morning, cause. That's exactly right. I was just told by the hiring manager that the person is worth $110K. So why make an offer at $95K? Is it just me that sees this as undervaluing candidates and that they will be more likely to believe because they likely already know they're being underpaid for the skill sets? That's a great question. Also, women are found to be paid about 85% of what men make. It varies depending on study, but usually something in the 80s is quoted. This is known as the gender wage gap. If she is already underpaid, how is she supposed to catch up if we keep basing offers on her current salary? Bingo, which is what's happening. Hey, Fernaldo, where, most hiring managers are hiring based on somebody's current salary. These laws could potentially narrow the gender wage gap. Eventually, we may not be able to ask about salary history, current or prior, anywhere in the US, but that does not stop us from asking candidates what salary range they expect. Expectations and preferences are kind of wishy-washy because that doesn't really tell you how little they would work for. I know that kind of sounds bad, but what I really mean is that often when you ask about expected salary or preferred salary, they would have gone lower if they had known the job doesn't pay that much. people don't just want to undercut themselves. At the same time, they want to be considered for the job. So if they knew it was a 5K difference, often that would have been acceptable, but they preferred more. And that is the problem with asking for preferred salary. Now, before I go into this a little bit more, you do still have to ask for their preferred salary no matter what. The key is that you've got to find out and we go through this in salary negotiations, but you've got to find out what's the minimum amount that they will accept. So, and how I do that, and I think I do have this in the academy. I know it's in the manual, but how I do that is tell me, I typically say, what are you currently making and what are you looking to make? Those are two separate questions. Of course, now in New York and Philadelphia, I can't ask that, but everywhere else I still will, because clients will still ask if it's not illegal in that state, right? So they say, okay, D, I'm currently making 80. I'm looking to make 85. Okay, great. That's awesome. So let me ask you a question. At that 85K range, if I come across an opportunity that is absolutely exceptional, everything that you're looking for, and then I go through all the things that this guy or this gal said that they want or desire in a position, as everything is perfect except the salary is only 80K, would you still want me to present this offer to you? And then they'll say, yes. Okay, so then that's their minimum number potentially, or they'll say no. Okay, so if they say yes, then I'll say, okay, great. Well, let me ask you this again. If everything was perfect in this position, same scenario, and the client came back and said, we can offer this position at 75K, would you accept this position? So if they say yes, then you ask the question again. Ask the question again. Go back and say, okay, great. If everything was awesome and they said, and you do that until they say no. Whatever point they say no, they won't accept that salary. That's their bottom line offer. Okay. That means that you can't go below that offer. They're not going to accept anything below that offer. So sometimes people will say that this is what I'm looking to make. But if you were, go back and ask them the question, or should I still present this offer to you if the salary is 5K less, and you have to say the number so that it sticks in their mind, go and you keep doing that until they say no. When they say no, then that's their bottom line offer. Okay. All right. So does that make sense? Okay. So let me go back to here we go. All right. As we still do not list our salary ranges on positions we post, something I wish we would do and has many advantages, I think the best question to ask is, for this position, please indicate the minimum base salary that you were required in order to consider this further opportunity. So he says the same thing. He just says it like straight out. I literally go through each number because I have learned over time that when you ask that general question, people will say, oh, 80, but they don't really mean it. Right? It's when you ask them, you have to put it into perspective for them. So they have everything that you're looking for and they're offering $80,000. Would you still want me to talk to you about that position? And then they'll say, no. Okay, so then I know, 85 is their minimum and what they'll move to. Lynette says, do they get some type of bonus for bringing people in less than the position is worth? Is that common practice? Do they get to list that as some sort of performance skill set, such as budgeting or cutting costs, et cetera, on their CV? I don't know about that they get some type of bonus per se. I think every company is different. Naturally, each company is looking to save money and to cut costs. So if they can find an employee who is $10,000 less in cost than what they budgeted for, of course, that would be a bonus for them, naturally, right, Lynette? So, but at the same time, I don't think that that's the real reason why they undervalue people in salary. I just think it's just about not wanting to overpay somebody more than what they believe they should be paid, regardless of what the position is budgeted for. And again, you've got to think hiring managers are people, right? So they are, they have their own mindset and judgmental ways and thoughts and so forth, and the way they choose their candidate and who they want to hire and how they want to hire and all those great things. So you just have to keep that in mind when you're thinking about hiring managers and how they think. Remember, as a recruiter, as a staffing agency, we have two separate clients. We have the hiring manager as a client and we have the candidate as a client. And we have to support both of those clients in every way, form, or fashion. And they both have their own kind of thought process around everything. All right, last, just a little bit of this article left. I think this would sit better with auditors of our employment practices if we reject an applicant because their minimum they specified was beyond what we planned or on paying, versus the candidate was rejected because their preferred or expected salary was beyond what we wanted to pay. Expectations and preferences can change with additional information, like knowing what the position actually pays, but the minimum needed to consider the position further is pretty clear. And that's also very true as well. When, we may have a position where the client has stated, this is the salary range, or this is the hourly rate, and this is what they give us up front. And then literally we go into, the candidate goes in and interviews, and then the hiring manager, and we can tell the candidate, this is what the job entails, this is how much the job pays, the whole nine. And then the hiring manager interviews the candidate, and then all of a sudden the position is asking for so much more. That candidate at that point may come back and say, that salary is not enough for the work that you're expecting me to do. So their salary requirements can change after the job has been presented to them, and they have the right to renegotiate the salary range. The only information we got in the beginning was what was their minimum. That doesn't define what we're going to submit them at, right? That was just their minimum. What defines what we will submit them at, which is why I don't like, that's why I don't like to submit the candidate with their salary expectations, although clients expect that, is because once they go through the interview, how would what if the job ends up being so much more and then you need, the candidate asks for more? Then you've got to negotiate on a totally different level, right? You've got to come back and negotiate on a totally different level. So it's a little bit different. Last piece of this article, we should always be paying candidates what we think they are worth. Of course, we have budgets for positions, what we can pay, and there are internal equity issues. But if we think someone is worth 110,000, and that's within the budget comparably internally, then we should be offering 110,000. Someone's current pay really shouldn't matter. The laws of cities and states are going to share that same opinion. So I thought this was a great article. Again, for my private inner circle group, I will share this article link in the group. For folks that are watching this on YouTube, I put the link under the YouTube video for you to check out if you want to go in and watch this, to read this in detail. Tarsha Howard says, I noticed that in the area of executive assistants, I live in New York. So yeah, that's really big. And now, Tarsha, in New York, you can't ask what their previous salary was, okay? So, and is their current salary, I think you can ask, but you can't ask their salary history. So just keep that in. So let me just make sure. Okay, no, the law in New York prohibits asking about salary history from candidates, employers, okay? So, or even current salary. So you can't even ask their current salary. So no salary and questions can be asked in New York or Philadelphia at all. None, okay? So you cannot ask. Hey, Kelly. So yes. And then, oh, I thought I saw a different message in here. Okay, great. All right. So I hope this was helpful. I just wanted to throw this out there. If you want to check up on the laws that are taking place, staffing, the staffing association, the staffing industry associate, not staffing industry analysts, but the Association for Staffing Professionals. It's like staffing ASA, American Staffing Association. That's what it is. They always have a good list of the new laws that are taking place and how it affects us from a staffing perspective. You can also visit SHRM, the Society of Human Resource Management. They always have a list of the laws that are out there. We want to make sure that we're staying very compliant with the laws. Because a lot of times, I'm going to tell you, these candidates know the laws better than we do. So if we literally are not abreast of the laws, it is very easy for them to say, this person asked me about my salary, and then sue you guys. And then you're kind of looking back at D. Williams. It's not happening. So we'll have these updates and in the new academy. These updates will be in there, as well as some specific laws that you guys need to be aware of. And I just wanted to share that with you. I hope each and every one of you are having an absolutely amazing day. This is to my inner circle. We've got literally 7 days left before our 30-day Blitz Challenge. We've got 5 team captains that are on board. The list will go out today, the spreadsheet in the group, you too, Caesar. And I want you to put your name under what team captain you're working with for the 30-day Blitz, okay? And we have the list with the team captains, the team names, and that lets us know who's getting involved in the Blitz. And we're very, very excited. I know the team captains have already started reaching out to individual staffingpreneurs, asking, will you be on my team? Will you be on my team? Which I'm very excited about. So guys, get involved. We have gifts involved for the winners, certificates, gift cards, books, coaching time, academy access, all great things. This is to help you start and grow your business. It's free. It's no reason for you not to get involved. This is a way for you to generate production in your business, okay? Hey, team captains, Dawn Goodman says she's looking for a team. Y'all better get on her. She's a good one. She just landed a contract, and I ain't telling all her business, but she doing some good stuff in California and LA. So y'all need to get on top of Dawn Goodman. I'm just telling you right now. All right. I will be back. Oh, we have Q&A call on Wednesday. Q&A call on Wednesday. Q&A call on Wednesday. Do not forget 7 p.m. Eastern. For YouTube, if you're interested in joining the private inner circle group, the link is in the box below. It's $29 a month for you to get involved with all the recruiting activities. It does not come with training except for little small tidbits like this, but you get to get involved with a community of staffingpreneurs who are growing their businesses just like you are. We have our bi-weekly Q&A call, which happens on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. with the entire group. We share successes, we share challenges, we ask questions. It's pretty awesome. You should get involved. All right, that's all I got to say. I'll be back on later on this evening. I've got a crazy busy day today. I love each and every one of you. Bye, staffingpreneurs. Have an amazing day. All right, YouTube, thank you so much for watching. I'm glad you're here. I hope I shared some good information with you that will help you. The information that I share on YouTube really quickly is just a starting point. The training that I provide is literally in Staffingpreneurs Academy. So if you're watching my YouTube videos, you are missing so much about the recruitment and staffing process, how to run your business and so forth. I just give you guys little teasers to get you guys started. So if you want full training, you want to definitely visit staffingpreneursacademy.com and get signed up here. If you felt like this video was useful for you and your business, as well as for someone else that you know, please give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Also, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. I always have some great stuff that I'm sharing, and please share this video, and don't forget to comment. And we had a lot of comments today. So, if you're watching this and on a replay, comment, ask questions, tell us what you think, tell us your thoughts. We definitely would love to hear from you. My name is Dee Williams. I show professionals just like you how to start, grow, and maintain your very own niche recruitment and staffing agency business. Have an amazing day. Woo!